Welcome, Dr. McCurry and fellow classmates. I'd like to take this opportunity to present my research for this semester on Generation Z's views of the military through a sociocultural lens. The research problem in and of itself I've identified as an inability for recruiters to recruit the necessary number and quantity of recruits needed to serve in the United States military. As 2018, only 29% of the eligible millions of Americans in this country between age 17 and 24 were at all eligible to join the military. Reasons they weren't eligible to join had to do with health, obesity, criminal record, failure to succeed in school, and other various reasons. Even more troubling, of that 29% who were eligible, only 1% was even considering the option. It's my opinion that in order to recruit more effectively in the future, recruiters will need a more nuanced and demographically informed understanding of these potential recruits to be the most effective possible. With that in mind, one of the areas I've chosen to look at is the difference in generational opinions of the military, specifically social attitudes and issues in the military. And what I'm looking to investigate are the differences in attitudes between Generation Y and Generation Z members on the open service of homosexuals in the military. You can see that as my research question. And the null hypothesis would be that there is no difference. The research that I did for this course, like many of you, was to create a open-ended survey that I put on Google Forms. There were 10 questions. Many of the questions involved simple attitudes towards the military. Like many of you, the original subject pool for my research would actually be homosexual members of the military, to investigate their views on military service. Since that was not an option, I had to change things a little bit and really just start to identify maybe what non-military members' thoughts and views were on this subject. So my instrument again was 10 open-ended questions, and I used some demographic questions to identify what generation each individual responding was from. Regarding generational cohort theory, which is the theory that underlies this research, just basically assumes that people who grow up together or are raised together in a certain environment, specifically historical occurrences during their upbringing, perhaps 9/11 is an example. The most recent Afghanistan withdrawal would be one. Certainly, the current pandemic is a major cultural phenomenon that a group of individuals are currently coming up through at a particular age. But the generational cohort theory says that those people experience those together, tend to form sort of a culture or similar views on things. And that is what my research will get to. Is there a difference in Generation Y, who roughly grew up between 81 and 96, and Generation Z, who started to be born in 97? Do those two generations have different attitudes and opinions on homosexuals serving openly in the military? Based on the questions that I submitted and the findings I got back, there were limited findings. One was that Generation Y or millennials were much more descriptive in their answers, using a lot more adjectives, seem to use just a lot more words and longer answers. As far as the individual questions, there really was not a lot of what I felt were significant or overwhelming differences One question that asked, what are your opinion of people who join the military? That question did find a lot of homogeneity in the answers from millennials, and that they felt there potentially were people who either had to join, didn't have much choice to join, could not find other employment or things to do, was probably the one major finding or similarity amongst people of that same generation. That is my research. I appreciate your time, and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll hope to see you in some future classes. Thank you.